Yo, this is Kadeem from Loathe. I do the vocals.
I'm Eric. I sing and play guitar in Loathe. We're from Liverpool.
Merseyside,
Yeah.
and various areas.
Right. We're currently with Sharp Tone Records.
Yep.
We have an album out called The Cold Sun. We have an EP out called This Is As One. And we're here at TechFest 2018.
Excellent. Thank you very much, guys, and I do really appreciate you sitting down with us today. How are you guys doing?
Doing very well. Very
Amazing. Sweaty.
hot. Yeah.
Oh God, it's been so hot. Yeah. You said you arrived just this morning,
Yeah.
so you've not had much chance to see some of the bands, unfortunately. But was there any bands that you would have really liked to have seen?
Loathe, but they're on now, I think.
Oh, really?
Oh, I feel so guilty. I'm
Oh,
not
no,
keeping you
it's
from a
fine,
band.
no, I don't think they're on right now. I think they're on at 3. So maybe we have time. I don't know.
There's a secret act as well, and no one knows who
Loathe
they are,
Caesar
but
is
we're
free.
looking forward to see what that is.
We're excited for Secret
I
Act.
have no idea.
Whatever it is.
I have no idea. But there's
Whatever
been
the secret
Whoever
act
it
is.
is, no one knows.
Did we both look at the camera at the same time? Sick.
Brilliant. So, how do you find actually doing like festival spots as opposed to sort of like the tours?
It's different, man. Like,
Yeah. It's there's a lot more like it kind of broadens like the variety, like people who watch the band live, whereas like on a tour it's kind of more specific to people who come out to the shows
Specifically
to
to
watch you, whereas like at a festival they could be someone who's waiting for another band to come on and walk past our stage and just happens to watch us, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I think it's a good way of like branching out really and like getting other people onto your music.
Do you sometimes find that festival audiences are harder to win over?
I think everyone's in festival like vibes when you're playing,
Okay,
so
yeah,
everyone's like willing to do whatever, like throw your hands up in the air. Everyone does it.
I think we've
Do you
been
know
pretty
what I mean?
lucky, to be fair, with the festival slots that we've been on and been able to play. Like, we've never really had a bad response because, like you said, like by the time we get there, we're on. Not saying that it's an effect of our presence, but like
Yeah.
the overall feel of the festival is like in full motion and like people are enjoying it. And
Everyone's already buzzing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the festival we played, the festivals we have played, I think like the audiences are open-minded, especially this one. Like, so.
Cool. In terms of sort of like touring and everything, have you had any crazy like stories and occurrences?
Oh, this is hard. This
We're
like
pretty boring. Well,
yeah,
quite
honestly,
a
we're
boring
pretty
band.
boring. Yeah, like we don't really do much. We just get up and play. Like even then, we have problem doing that. Like,
Well, has there been any times where like you've had so much technical issues that crazy story there then?
We played when we played Knotfest in California.
Oh, my days, yeah.
That was like the biggest show of our lives at the time. Still is because it's huge. But
our
Yeah.
our in-ear rig like completely dissolved.
like a minute before we were about to go on, so it was like everyone was hype, and then someone came over and was like, "Yeah, right, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. Have a good show." we were like, "Sad."
Yeah. So basically, what happened is we have the in-ear rigs where we get like our signal into our ears, so we don't have the monitors.
Yeah.
That completely failed, so we just didn't have that. Our drummer didn't have click because like the setup messed up there. So because of all that happening, we didn't have monitors, so we didn't have any sound on stage at all. None of us could hear our guitars because we didn't have amps at the time. We were just
Yeah.
coming straight out of the PA, so we just heard the strings of the guitars and then cymbals, and like it was unreal. Honestly, like
Yeah.
we flew over there. We were like, how old were we? When was it? 2015.
2015, yeah.
Was
No,
it
2016. 2016.
September 2016. I was like 20 years old, and it was like, oh my god, I'm playing Knotfest. And
Yeah.
then we get there, and it's like
That all happens.
that literally happens the minute we go on. Like,
But we learn from it.
Yeah,
Still
definitely.
learning.
Yeah, and of course everyone's still learning. But yeah, that must have been quite a bit of a.
yeah, clustering.
Yeah.
Definitely was.
Well, in terms of your band, what kind of influences do you have?
It's weird. Like we at first it was like just because we were like 17 when we started. At first it was just bands that were on the scene that like sick, cool. But now like we're so late.
As our like taste kind of matures as we get older, like
Yeah.
we.
yeah, I was
It's
gonna
like
say
a select
without,
fewer bands. Not to sound like we
yeah,
listen to
without
music
sounding
now, but
annoying
yeah.
and like lame. Like our taste has matured, and I think our aspirations have matured to an extent as well.
Okay.
And like I think it just kind of. I think that reflects with the people that we listen to. We listen to like bands like Deftones. And
Okay, now that's interesting.
Slipknot and
Aspirations
Radiohead.
have matured. Do you want to expand upon that? How do you?
What I mean by that is like that's what I mean. I don't. It's hard to like put it into words without like any other way of being like, oh, we've just matured because like we literally have like I've 5 years, like grown up 5 years. So like
Yeah.
the taste in what I've like in what we listen to in music and stuff. Like I say,
Yeah.
it was, back then it was just like it was like a band from Australia called like Prepared Like a Bride. They were
Yeah.
like a big one, and
Yeah.
then like
North Lane as well at the time.
North
Like,
Lane,
yeah.
yeah, and then like even like some like local bands from like Florida and stuff. Like there's a band called Silence. There's a band called Ceruleus. Like
Me and Eric were like nerds back in the day. We were like onto local scenes in different countries before
Yeah.
like most people were. We were like,
and like some bands like of the people that we listen to aren't together anymore and stuff, and they never really
that's a
popped
shame.
off and stuff. And like I think it's more so literally maturing, like like with. I, I'm not saying like I don't watch SpongeBob anymore, but like, I have other tastes. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
like it's just in that sense, it's like the band has moved in that way as well as our tastes and stuff. And I think, yeah, just honestly, it's kind of as well as it being a fact like of us actually maturing and aging.
Yeah.
I think there's band like there's a big difference between like Silence and Prepared Like a Bride to like bands
Yeah.
like Radiohead
Yeah, yeah.
and like Tame Impala and like all these huge bands that
Yeah.
like we aspire to be on the same level as, or doing what they do and stuff. So.
yeah.
Sure. Well, picking back to you mentioned some sort of like bands that you like to that who are no longer around and everything. It kind of nicely goes to a question I wanted to ask. We're quite interested in sort of like up and comers, the kind of bands that just don't get the exposure that you feel like they should.
Absolutely.
Because usually it's a case that like marketing them or just finding those opportunities is difficult. Is there any bands that you'd like to give a shout out to that you feel?
Many.
Yeah,
Good.
there's a lot of bands. There's,
so,
for one, Loathe who are playing today.
Yes. Yeah.
God
God Complex.
Complex, yeah.
Big band. Not so much that they don't get the recognition they deserve, but I think overseas and stuff, there's a band that we just toured with called Varials.
Varials.
Yeah, and
Okay.
They're where are they from? Is it Philadelphia?
Philadelphia, yeah.
Yeah, Philadelphia.
In fact, can I just check the spelling of that? Do you
Yeah,
know?
VARIALS.
It's
Okay.
like,
Cool.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And like they're like really good friends of ours, and we're trying to bring them over here. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so God Complex, Varials,
Varials.
Modern Era,
Modern Era,
another
yeah.
really good one.
Sleep Token, great
Sleep
band.
Token, yeah. They get the
Yeah.
they get what they
Yeah,
like,
true,
you know what I
true,
mean.
true.
Lifetime are a good one. Oh, there's so many because we're just like we try and just like get to know as many people as we can
Yeah.
because it's like it's the way you grow really, and without like being like all conceited and like everything. You grow by like meeting people and like befriending people like,
certainly.
naturally. So
Yeah.
There's another band which I found out about recently, actually,
yeah.
which my friend played drums for, and I had no idea until I seen the gig and was like, "Yo!"
Yeah.
But I can't remember. I think it's Dead Summers.
Dead Summers.
Dead Summers. I think I'm gonna double check now. Actually.
Fair enough.
This is important that I give them
Well,
a shout
I'll
out.
ask the next question as you're doing that. Talking about things like this, is there any advice you would give to bands who are trying to get somewhere?
Make sure you have everything you want to do planned. I mean, not necessarily everything planned out, but like you have.
at least for your beginning cycle.
Yeah, everyone who you're involved with doing the music has a clear vision, the same vision that you do, and you're all pushing for the same thing. Because if there's someone else who wants to do something else,
Yeah.
and you're also passionate about one thing, it's like it throws off the balance. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
I think another thing would be separate yourself from your ego.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like never lose who you was at the beginning because like I'm not saying that we've been through that, but like I definitely feel like I was like getting a bit full of myself
Yeah.
when things started going well for us, like, and that's just I think that's natural, like,
Yeah.
because obviously like sick things happening, I'm sick, man, but like you, like I say again with maturing and stuff, like
Yeah.
you gotta separate yourself from the ego in these sort of things because it's just not a good look.
Sure.
That's all.
Okay, so February saw your second EP with This Is the One, Split, with Holding Absence.
Yeah.
How do you feel that was received?
Sick, yeah.
Yeah.
Sick. Well, it did really well for like when we toured together, and it really helped like bridge the gap between our fan base and their
Yeah.
fan base, which was really cool. And yeah, I think overall like two of the songs that we had on there are like kind of a big insight on what's to come next for Loathe. So
Oh, yeah.
the fact that a lot of people have been enjoying it and actually like are into what we're doing now is really cool and kind of sheds light on what's to come next.
So was there a different approach to this at all?
Yeah, I mean, the first album, the first EP was written by me and Kadeem, and it was just kind of like for 3 years or something, just back and forth, staying at each other's houses and stuff. And then the album was like, we wrote like 5 songs, and then we went to Atlanta and did the rest there, and it was kind of, I'm not saying it was a bad experience, but like we did kind of rush it.
It was a learning curve.
Yeah, we definitely we were in like way over our heads for that situation.
Sure.
And this time we just wrote 2 songs. We wrote half of 2 songs, then we went into the studio, finished them in the studio, and everyone around us was like, yeah, there was so much pressure involved, but like we didn't feel it. I think because once there's a date aligned that we're like, you need to be finished by this,
Yeah.
that isn't pressure for us. That's just like,
Yeah.
oh, finally, we know when to be finished by. Like, because we could go on forever. We could literally sit with a song for years and it will never be perfect.
Oh yeah, a phrase, a quote that I like that I still need to figure out who said it. It's like an art is never complete; it's only abandoned type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's literally that.
Yeah. Sorry, I want to pick back to something that you said there. You kind of teased that there's stuff to come from Loathe. So what's next?
I mean, I can't really say anything specifically, but we are always working, we're always writing, and
Okay.
yeah, that's
There's
everything.
no
It's
real
like,
plan in motion at the moment.
Sure.
It's just our main concern right now. Obviously, we're touring and stuff. We're trying to push the name out as much as we can, as
Yeah,
always. But our main concern is new music, and we are writing as much as we can.
Do you find it easier to write on tour, or do you prefer
We've
to
not
go
tried
back
yet.
to? Oh,
We've not
really?
tried yet. No,
Okay.
it's literally every time we're back at home, it'll be like, okay, now we've had a day off. Like, let's write now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think we're gonna try and write on tour because we have got a pretty
Yeah.
hectic year.
yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, all the best with all of the hectic year and the tours and
Thank you very
everything.
much.
Thank you.
Something else I wanted to pick on. If you was to look at all of your, all of the songs that you've done, do you have any favourites of your own work? And if so, why?
Um,
Specific songs or like, yeah. Okay.
Specific songs.
Okay. You can go first. I'll
like for me, like I feel like you should be a fan of your own band, and not even in a big-headed way, but
Yeah.
like if you're putting out music, you should fully back it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
So like for
certainly.
me, it's a majority of our songs. I'm like, yo, this bangs. But
Yeah.
specifically, I'd say either White Heart or Seven to Master. Basically, the 2 songs from that split EP, just because like that's fully where the band's at right now with like how we sound like sonically and everything, and it just really vibes with me a lot. Like,
Sure. So you feel like it's a good example of your work, kind of thing.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
just.
definitely.
Okay, no, I
Because
understand.
there's been times in the past like where it's like we felt like we have expressed ourselves well, but like not to our full potential. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
And I feel like now we're like slowly getting to that
Okay.
point. I mean, it's never you never really ever do get to that point, but
Yeah.
we're getting
At least with
closer.
our experience, like maybe who knows? Like the next time we'll just be like, yeah,
Well,
we're done now.
congratulations. So
Like,
that's good. Some good stats. Is there any songs that you'd like to throw out?
White Hot again. I'd
Yep.
say the same with him, just because that is like one of my favourites that we've ever done. I think. On top of that, there's 2 songs from the album, "Dance on My Skin" and "It's Yours," the 2 singles that were released before the release of the album. I think just because they were the singles, I was like way happy with them. Whereas some of the stuff on the album, like I was a
Bit iffy with.
bit iffy with.
Yeah.
But yeah, those 3 tunes are my favourites. I think.
Cool. I'd actually like to finish with something that just we've ended up talking about quite a lot here, but I'm just interested on people's thoughts on this. But like, if a band was to lose all of its original members and had to replace them over time, is it the same band?
Right. Okay. There's a few ways you can
There's
look
two
at this.
there's two answers
Yeah.
to that. Like, yeah, in the sense that if they're doing the same type of music and if it's got the same sound that all the original members had,
Yeah.
then in a way I don't really see a problem with it. But at the same time, if you're loyal to that band from the start and you've watched all these members change, it's not really the same for you anymore, is it? So I don't know.
I don't know.
It is a tough one.
For me, right? Okay. So I've kind of thought about this for us as well. If like we were to ever like as a group collectively be like, yeah, it's a bit, we're done now. Like if we were to ever to be like that, I would want. I don't know if I'd want it to end or if I'd want it to be passed down. You know what I mean? Because I don't really want it to be just something that is a one-time thing. I'd like it to transcend throughout the ages. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know because Chelsea Grin have just got like a completely new lineup, haven't they? And they're like, people are kind of. I think you can look at it as a reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
And you could have a new name and stuff, but it depends if you get. I think the be all and end all for me would be if you have the blessing of the original members.
Yeah.
Then you're fine. I think.
Brilliant. Well, the other thing I just wanted to pick back on, did you get a chance to check the
Oh,
band?
Dead Summers, that was it.
It is
I was
Dead
right,
Summers.
yeah, Dead
Okay,
Summers.
fantastic.
Great
Just
band.
didn't want to let that go and not plug
No,
that band, yeah.
they are incredible live. Like,
Yep.
it's one of them bands where like you listen to them on record and it's like, oh, this is sick, and you see
Yeah.
them live and it's like, yo, this is amazing.
Brilliant. Well, it seems like things are going very well for you guys. So I don't, want to wish you all the success and hope you enjoy the
Thank
rest of
you
your
very
sessions and
much.
everything. But thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. We do appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right. Hope you enjoy the festival.
Cheers, man. You too.
Nice, man.